welcome back to another episode of Gen Z Auto. This is probably one of the most exciting episodes we've had because we are bringing Roxanne to the channel, my 2012 991.1 Carrera S. So right off the bat, I love this generation of cars because for me, any car from early 2010 to like 2014-15 was just the last breed of raw, unrefined cars. As you can see, this car is loud. It's not comfortable. I'm getting a lot of noise from the engine. It's tight. It's not trying to fool you into thinking that it's something that's comfortable. And even though you can drive this every day, but it's focused. It's not filled with a lot of electronics, a lot of tech, and yeah, it's just analog in a sense. We do have traction control and stability control and all those, nannies, but I can't. I'm struggling for words, but what I'm trying to say is that it's a closer connection with the actual car and the driver. There's not a lot of distractions in this generation. So, funny story behind this car. I specifically prayed about this car. This is the car I wanted because if you know anything about Porsches, the 991.2. After like 2014-15, I think, all of the Carreras were turbocharged, regardless if you had a turbo or not. But the 991.1 was the last generation of Carreras that are naturally aspirated. And I wanted that. A, because you want to hear this engine. B, is because of the price. The 991.1s were cheaper than the 991.2. And in 2012, they made both 997s and 991s. And this is the 991, even though it's 2012. But yeah, so right off the bat, we have it in sport mode right now. If you turn sport mode off, the car gets a little softer. The engine's not as loud. It does have some exhaust valves, so daily driving it, you can do it. It's not going to fool you. It's still tight. The chassis is firm. The suspension is firm, but you can drive it. Feels good. If you're on a really smooth paved surface, you're not going to notice that this is a sports car, but any surface that's not perfectly paved, you're going to feel the bumps with this Carrera S. But yeah, let's see. Features we have, probably my favorite feature is TMS. I keep it up on the display right here. I've personally had an event where I'm traveling down the freeway and I was traveling down the 85, and I had a tire go out, but it wasn't abrupt. It was over time, and I slowly got to see the tire pressure drop off. And with a high performance car, TMS is like almost a must for me. So yeah, that's one thing. This car has a Chronos package, so we do have the launch control settings, the G meter, all those things. For 2012, this car is just ahead of its time. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Only thing that this car really doesn't have that kind of threw me off was the backup camera. But everything other than that, it's ahead of its time. Heated seats. I mean, really, Porsche, brought their game with the 991 facelift, and the features are just the features go along with that theme. They really brought it. Brought their A game with this update. So when I think about Porsches, I don't think about horsepower. I don't think about like torque. I don't think about like anything that really has to do with way we really traditionally think about cars, you know, power, torque. Porsches are so good is because they're not great at one thing, but they're good at everything. Porsches are one of the most well-rounded, driver-focused cars I've ever driven. You have a relationship with the steering and the brakes and the accelerator that you don't feel in other sports cars. It just keeps going. It's not going to blow you away with the acceleration, but this is the fastest car I've ever been in. This car will do 180 miles an hour, no problem. And that just goes to show you that even though this car has 400 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque, it doesn't sound crazy. But when you talk about the whole package, you're getting the aerodynamics, you're getting the weight of this car, which is just a touch over 3,000 pounds. And you're getting the sophistication with the automotive engineering. We have active aero, rear spoiler comes up at speed, or you can manually lock it out. We have obviously ABS, but that 4-liter flat 6 is just I'm sorry, not 4-liter. My mind's on a GT3, guys, my bad. But at 3.8 flat 6, it's just it's magic. I can't get enough of it. It sings, it purrs, and it has so much characteristic. So when I think about this car, I think about this engine as being like a German muscle car. Like, it's just so grunty. It's not like 3.8 liters. That's a pretty good bore size for a engine that has 6 cylinders. But it's just so grunty. It doesn't have like, you know, 500-600 foot-pounds of torque. But for, you know, this car to be 3,000 pounds, it is strong. I can't say enough about just how it feels as a driver coming out a corner with that power band. But when I think of another good characteristic that this engine has is that the power band is very linear, and it pulls to redline. This engine loves to sing. It's not like a lot of other, you know, turbocharged cars where it doesn't reward you for, you know, reaching for the stars, or reaching for that red line. This car rewards you for, you know, holding it out to that red line. It just goes, guys, and it can do that all day long. When I'm getting this car worked on, I take it in to get worked on, people always rave about how reliable these engines are. And when you get into the luxury and performance cars, it's kind of like that's always a point of apprehension. It's like, man, I don't know how reliable this engine's going to be. But I mean, I've seen some Porsches with 200,000 miles on them, and we are a touch over 60,000 miles with this 2012. So I look forward to having a long life and no engine problems with this car. On paper, this says that we can get to 60 in 4 seconds, and to be honest, that sounds about right. So we'll put in Sport Plus and just let you experience what that feels like. So firm on the brake, quick on the accelerator. Well, I know that was in 4 seconds because we was struggling for traction, but in better conditions, this thing has straight launched me, seriously.